Hello y'all, welcome to another video. It's Ruben here, and today we'll be taking a look at two devices, the HTC Wildfire S versus the HTC Desire Z. Let's start. So, before I'm gonna start, I just want to say what part of the video we're gonna start with and do at first. So first we're just gonna take a look around the devices, see what the difference are, see what difference with the overall design is and how good it looks. After that we'll take a look at a spec difference, a in-depth difference of the specs of the devices. And at the end, just for kicks and giggles, we'll take a look at the battery and we'll take a look at the battery test, because we can't really do a battery test here, so I'm just gonna say to y'all what the overall usage for me was, how the battery has lasted over the years, since these phones, I have had them for quite a long while, for a very long time, especially the Desire Z. So, and after that we'll just just see how they have lasted. So, first up, the design. So here's the Wildfire S. We'll start with that one here. So the Wildfire S is was a phone by HTC that was the predecessor of the Wildfire, if I'm recalling correctly. The Wildfire had a mediocre camera with just 3 megapixels. This thing has an upgraded camera. Better build quality, less plastic is used, I think. I'm not totally sure because I don't have a real actual Wildfire. The software is more up to date than a Wildfire. Better camera, and I think it has a flash, which the Wildfire does not. But it also just has a much more different design, much more premium and sleek looking. And I think it even has a better display, but I'm not totally sure. Go search it for yourself. I'm really sorry because I just can't. I don't have a real Wildfire here. So what's the point of taking a look at it as well and just comparing it, because I don't have it. So that's why we'll be comparing it to this. It was a small phone. It was cheaper than the this one, and on this side we just don't have anything except the plastic. The white part is plastic, and I also have a purple version of this, but that one is broken. It has a shattered screen and a broken charging port and a horrendous battery. This one has none of those issues. Same goes for the Desire Z, so that's why this comparison is fair. This metal part is aluminum. It's really nice to the touch, really nice in general, because the way you're holding it is your fingers will mostly be touching the premium part of the device, and that's just really nice. So plus points, it has a great design. It does have a headphone jack. It does have micro USB and everything. It has a lanyard slot and a mic. You have these 4 capacitive buttons and the 3.2-inch HVDA display. It has a home button, a menu button, a back button, and a search button. So it also has an inner bezel, which is, oh man, that was a big trend with HTC. So yeah. The plus points are a great looking design, especially the white model. I've seen all colors of this device, by the way. The white model has a plastic back. The purple model has a rubber, like a rubberized type of back, and the black one I don't really know. I think it also has a rubberized back, but I have seen the black one in real life, and it has black borders. It has black aluminum and everything. I don't really like that because this is just a two-tone style design, and it looks ever so slightly like a Google Pixel from the back because of this. So great overall design. Nice that they have a little bit of flair going with it, because this is just a plastic one. It has plastic back, and that the purple one has rubber, and maybe the black one, but I'm not totally sure. The black one was pretty rare. I really like this color, and just overall great design of the phone. The biggest plus points in my opinion is its charging port is on the side. Well, that's not that big of a problem, but A little bit of a problem, in my opinion, is that the glass is very. It doesn't have any real protection. The Desire Z does have a screen protector on it, which doesn't come pre-installed. This is from the previous owner, and I really like it because that it has a. I really love that the previous owner put a screen protector on there, because I already have broken one of the Wildfire S's, so it's really nice to have a HTC. I already dropped this thing once and nothing happened, so really nice that it has a screen protector. Anyways, the glass feels a little bit cheap. As you can see, it really feels like quite a cheap glass panel. Can't say the same about the Desire Z, because it has a plastic screen protector, which I'm definitely not going to take off. So yeah, cheap feeling glass, a weird mounted charging port. The power button can get very stiff and very hard to press, and the purple unit had a severe power button issue, but this one has just a little bit. The speaker is quite well. We'll get to the flaws of the hardware itself later. But other than those two flaws, like the weird charging port and the power button and the glass, the three things, it is a nice phone with a very nice, with an amazingly small design, and it's great to hold in a hand. Not cheap feeling at all for its price. So the Desire Z has more flair going with it. This time you got a what do you call it? Trackpad in favor of the trackball that the normal Desire had. It has a rubber chin right here, which feels okay. It's the same material as the I don't know what that, another HTC phone at the back, but this phone has more design flair to it. The really nice thing is it looks a little bit newer, in my opinion. It has a border, it has a aluminum border, which feels a little bit more quality than the HTC Wildfire S, in my opinion. A different design on the earpiece, and a really nice aluminum border, in my opinion. Instead of the, it has the same buttons, but this phone is a year older, so they are a little bit different shaped, and it says the word menu right here instead of just having 3 stripes. So on the back, it looks really good, in my opinion. It just has camera and flash, a bigger flash this time than on the Wildfire S, and it also has a different speaker. They both say with HTC Sense. Let me just get a little bit closer. And this is actually a aluminum panel, and you just get this and it falls off. That is really nice. So the battery is really easy to access, and you just don't need like nails and crappy things just to yeet that back cover off. I mean, I've broken multiple nails getting back covers off, and this just clicks into place. It doesn't go loose without getting that little thing right. So that's great. It feels really premium in the hand, even more premium than the HTC Wildfire S, but I can see why they've chosen plastic over aluminum on the back. I like that a little bit more, because I don't like holding a phone with like a metal back or like metal sides. Well, this doesn't have that severe problem, but my Galaxy A3 2016, for example, I hold it a lot like this, and that gets really uncomfortable over time, and my hands get ridiculously cold from that. So yeah, they don't have that on the HTC Wildfire S, no metal back, but this one does. But that's just purely my personal choice. But even more premium, because you're actually holding metal on the back and metal on the side, so you'll be only gripping metal. The interesting part is when you flip it open like this. This is what they call the Z hinge, and it has this plastic border around the keyboard and just matte plastic keys, which feel okay, but they don't register the keys good at all. I mean, I've heard of this problem before, but the keys feel really great. It's a little cramped, but it's just a little too spacious, in my opinion. I mean, it's too big, but that's just me, because I've never really used this. I normally just use a screen keyboard because of the issues with that. So yeah, great keyboard, but it has a really cheap glossy plastic layer that just works like a screen protector or something. So yeah, let's get to the technical specs now. The HTC Wildfire S has been released in September, or Jesus, I was looking at the wrong phone. February 2011. Well, this thing has been released at 2010 September. So they're a year older, and the HTC Desire Z runs Sense 2.0 interface from HTC, along with, I think, Android 2.3 or 2.3.5. And the surprisingly, the Wildfire S came with 2.2 Froyo, but this phone came with 2.3 and is upgradable to 2.3.6. You know what? I'm actually gonna take a look at if it's upgraded all the way to 2.3.5. Let me just give me a little moment. Mine is currently running 2.3.3 with Sense 2.1, as I said, so that's correct. I'm probably not gonna update it. It doesn't have the Android. It doesn't have Google Play Store, which we'll get into later. I did get the Play Store on it, but now Google has just fucked up everything, just like they normally do. The Wildfire S hasn't booted up yet. I'm gonna boot that up. So technical differences. The Desire Z has a so-called SLCD or Super LCD display by HTC, while with just with Corning Gorilla Glass plus a screen protector on my model, it's 3.7 inch, and it's 320 by 480, which is a little bit lower than I actually. Oh no, never mind. It's 480 by 800, which is quite good. It's on par with the Galaxy S, which was its main contender back in 2010. So that is great. So good resolution. Since it has a pixel density of 180, which is pretty darn freaking low, but since it's a smaller display than some phones I've had, it's probably gonna be okay. So the Desire Z has these. Before we take a look at the Android, by the way, here's the thing. Here's the Wildfire S. We won't be comparing brightness and everything. That will be a little bit bad. The Wildfire S, on the other hand, is quite a little bit different. Oh man, I'm being completely off track. This thing doesn't have 180 pixel density. I was looking at the Wildfire S. The main specs, it is LCD, SLCD, 3.7 inch, and it is 252 pixels per inch. So that is actually quite decent. That is almost on par with the really cheap budget phones of 2020. So decent pixel density and an overall pretty darn good screen. The Wildfire S, on the other hand, has a TFT display with, oh boy, only 256K colors, and I did not expect that. Ugh. It gets pretty bright in my opinion. I've tested it yesterday. It's 320 by 480 resolution and it's 3.2 inches. So yeah. The displays look, in my opinion, pretty good. Hardware wise, this thing is pretty darn different. I mean, the HTC Wildfire S runs really smooth for its lack of processing power. Hopefully it will ever focus. Stupid camera. Thank you. So currently there's a theme applied on this one. So yeah, it runs pretty darn fluidly in my opinion. But let's first get to the CPU and everything. Before we're gonna compare stuff. Well, we're comparing stuff anyway, but before we're gonna do things like test the Android, test the Sense UI and the differences between the operating systems, the hardware differences we'll be taking a look at right now. So you guys can finally see that just slightly. So, let's get going. The Wildfire S has Android 2.3 upgradable to 2.3.5. So I was incorrect about that. This thing didn't came with Froyo. This thing came with Froyo 2.2, upgradable to 2.3. So yeah, I was also wrong about that. The Desire Z, I'm not getting off track here, has a Qualcomm MSM 7230, which is not a Snapdragon, I think. 800 MHz Scorpion, which sounds bad until you get to the Wildfire S. And it has an Adreno 205, and the GPU is actually one of the biggest differences between these phones. So Adreno 205, keep that in your head. 800 MHz Scorpion processor. So yeah, Scorpion was their flagship architecture, just like Cortex A35 or whatever the fuck it's called right now is now. And After that, they got to the Crite 200 and Crite 400 processor architectures. So the Wildfire S has a 600 MHz ARM11 processor, Qualcomm MSM, Jesus Christ, 7227 processor, Snapdragon S1, which is underclocked because the high speed is 1 GHz of the Snapdragon S1, and an Adreno 200, which is bad. Let's just say that. So also a very big difference is the internal storage is absolutely horrible on the Wildfire S and is actually pretty darn good on the Desire Z. So the Desire Z has 1.5 gigabytes of internal storage and doesn't include a memory card, and 512 megs of RAM. The HTC Wildfire S includes a 2 gig SD card, which I do have, and 512 megs of internal storage and 512 megs of RAM. So that's it. So the cameras, let's get to that. So the HTC Wildfire S takes okay pictures. It has 5 megapixels of quality, which is pretty darn great for its price and everything. Autofocus, a LED flash, and it can record in 480p at 24 FPS. I think it takes pretty darn decent pictures, but the the Desire Z is clearly the winner here. I've taken lots of pictures with this thing, and I can probably even go ahead and show them. I've used the Desire Z so much back when I didn't have a proper phone. I mean, I love this phone so much. The screen looks really good, in my opinion, on the Desire Z. Let's go to gallery. Did I get the SD card? Oh fuck, no, I can't take a look at... Oh, I think I can. Oh yes, I can. I still have the pictures on there. I thought I fucked up the SD cards. 149 pictures I've taken with this beauty. Oh my goodness, this picture quality is amazing in my opinion. Look at that! Ain't it great? That is from a 10-year-old, 11-year-old 5 megapixel shooter right there. Yeah, I can remember doing that. Oh boy, pictures on this look great in my opinion. Holy fuck, that's a... Oh my goodness, Come on, you piece of shit, focus on that. That is a freaking macro picture taken with a 5 megapixel I'm fucking blown. Look at that! Proper background blur. Well, it's not the best background blur. Please rotate. It's not rotating. Anyways, before I'm gonna show the other picture rotated with the proper screen orientation, I just want to say this thing takes stunning pictures in my opinion. I mean, it's not the best, but it is really good. I'm not kidding. I mean, this was obviously their like mid-range or flagship phone, so, and it also has a great display, but still, holy cow, dude. Can I zoom in? Wow, even with zooming in it takes... Okay, this thing, hands down, takes amazing pictures for its age. Its display is great, it takes amazing pictures, and you're probably thinking, well, this thing has already blown the Wildfire S out of the water. I'm still gonna give it a chance. Here's myself drawn this phone just on a board thing. Oh my goodness, it looks so amazing. I fucking love this phone. Can I scroll? Yes, I can scroll through pictures with that. Yeah, man, it took amazing pictures back when I used it. Oh, those are all pictures taken with a super crappy camera. So that's why they're so small. Freaking amazing pictures this thing takes. So the Wildfire S, I don't have any good pictures on it, but I do have one picture on it. Still a 5 megapixel shooter. And it takes okay pictures if they actually want to load. They don't even want to fucking load. Oh, well there you go. Here's a proper picture. If it actually wants to rotate. There we go. I mean, it's much softer. It's a picture of a cat. Focus. Yep, it's focused. It's less blown out in real life. Here, there's a picture of my grandma's new radio. It takes pretty good pictures. But in my opinion, the Desire Z is slightly better. It has better dynamic range, quite a bit better dynamic range, and it just takes over quite a bit better pictures. This thing takes freaking amazing pictures, despite its age. I'm not kidding. I'm actually just gonna take this phone outside and just take more pictures with it because it takes really good pictures. I hope the SD card has proper space. It came with a 4 gig SD card, by the way. This thing did came with an SD card, at least on my model. So, Next up, this thing can film in 720p instead of 480, and that's true. My first YouTube videos were filmed with this thing. Go ahead and watch my first video I've ever made. Please do that, because that video was made with the Desire Z. It just didn't really want it to focus. So yeah, I fully used this thing. Any more difference? It does have the Desire Z has DLNA support, or whatever the frick that is, for the Wi-Fi. But the Wildfire S has Bluetooth 3.0, well this thing has 2.1, so it's a little bit more, and EDR support, which is I think, no, that's not extremely low energy or whatever it's called. They both have all the same sensors, but the Wildfire S has a 12-13 mAh battery, and the Desire Z has a 1300 mAh battery. So yeah. Yeah, anything else to say? So this thing has a better display, a better GPU, slightly better display, better GPU, amazing camera, and final conclusion by the way, amazing camera for its age, Corning Gorilla Glass, a keyboard, and a pretty darn good trackpad. But the only bad thing is the software is quite old on this thing, but you can still get games on it. You can definitely still get games on it. I'll probably make a video about how to do that sometime. The Wildfire S, poor glass, but the plus points are it takes good pictures for its price and its size, but the dynamic range is definitely less good than this thing. This one has a killer dynamic range for it. I mean, my Galaxy S doesn't take that good pictures. I mean, my Galaxy S has a broken camera lens, so I can't even take good pictures with that piece of crap. So yeah, good phone, good camera, although it has a weak GPU and quite a weak processor, along with some minor design flaws, but not a bad phone in general. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. See y'all later.